Have you ever felt as if your entire life was collapsing, as if every certainty you once held was slipping through your fingers? And yet, deep inside, there was a strange whisper telling you that something greater was about to emerge. What if I told you that the moments when you feel most lost, most broken, and most alone, what many call the dark night of the soul, might be the very threshold to your most profound awakening? That this mysterious passage, feared by many, can carry within it the seeds of your deepest transformation. If only you dare to walk through it with open eyes and a trusting heart, in this sacred journey, you will see that what seems like an ending is often a hidden beginning. The darkness is not here to destroy you. It is here to dissolve what is false, to strip away illusions, and to reveal the luminous essence of who you truly are. But the path is not comfortable. It challenges the mind, shakes the heart, and tests the spirit. And yet, on the other side of this shadow, a light awaits that is far more radiant than anything you've known before. Have you ever wondered why certain painful experiences seem to appear just before a great leap in your life? If these emotional and spiritual storms could actually be initiations, what hidden truths about your own soul might be waiting for you in this very moment? In the next few minutes, I will guide you through the labyrinth of the dark night of the soul, revealing its secret stages, its hidden gifts, and the ancient wisdom that can turn despair into illumination. We will explore the subtle signs that show you are on the verge of an unexpected awakening, and how to align yourself with the forces that are trying to elevate your consciousness. But there's something powerful you must know. The teaching in today's video may hold the key to unlocking a part of yourself you didn't even know was trapped. If you truly want to understand, stay until the end, for sometimes the final pieces only reveal themselves when you've walked the entire path. Before we begin, I invite you to create a conscious connection with this moment. Comment below the phrase, "I choose to awaken through the darkness." This is more than just words, it's a ritual of intention, a declaration to your own soul and to the collective energy we are building together here. And please, like this video right now, not for me, but because each click sends ripples into the collective field, helping this message reach others who may be silently enduring their own dark nights. Your action is a small light in the global tapestry of awakening. Many people return to these videos daily as a form of spiritual support. When you comment and interact, you are not just learning, you are helping to hold the energy high for everyone who joins this sacred space. Imagine thousands of souls, all vibrating with the same intention to awaken. That is the energy you are now part of. So, take a deep breath. Feel the quiet power in your chest. You are not here by accident. The path you've walked with all its shadows has led you here. And now, we begin the journey. The initiation hidden in the collapse when the dark night of the soul descends upon you. It rarely announces itself politely. One day, life feels familiar. You have a rhythm, a set of beliefs, perhaps even a quiet sense of control. And then, something shifts, a loss, a betrayal, a deep emptiness that appears without explanation. Suddenly, the world you knew feels fragile, even unreal. This is the collapse, and it is no ordinary misfortune. It is an initiation. To understand why, you must first see that the dark night is not a punishment, it is a spiritual invitation. The collapse dismantles the scaffolding of your identity, breaking apart the false structures that kept you small, comfortable, and disconnected from your essence. It is a sacred demolition, designed by forces far wiser than your conscious mind, to prepare you for the architecture of a new self. In ancient mystery schools, initiates were deliberately led into states of confusion and disorientation. They would enter pitch-black chambers, stripped of familiar reference points, left alone with only their breath and the echo of their heartbeat. These rites were not meant to harm them, but to unhook the mind from its habitual anchors. Only in that formless space could they encounter the deeper truth of their being. Your modern dark night functions much the same way. The breakup that tears your heart open, the job loss that shakes your sense of purpose, the illness that forces you to stop and listen, all of these can be thresholds. You are being pushed beyond the ego's comfort zone into the raw, unfiltered reality of your soul. The collapse is uncomfortable because it is meant to be. If you are feeling confusion, grief, or a strange numbness, it is because the old self is dissolving. Like a snake shedding its skin, you cannot carry the old layers into the next phase of your life. This in-between stage where you are no longer who you were, but not yet who you are becoming, is where the alchemy happens. But here is the hidden secret. Resisting the collapse prolongs the pain. The more you fight to go back to how things were, the more you entangle yourself in suffering. Acceptance, not as passive resignation, but as an active willingness to meet the unknown, is the key to crossing this threshold. When you stop trying to rebuild the old life, you make space for the new one to be born. The first step in working with the dark night, then, is to recognize it as an initiation. This awareness alone shifts your position from victim to participant. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" begin to ask, "What is this trying to awaken in me?" In the next part of this journey, we will explore how to navigate the inner void without losing your sense of direction, and why the silence of the dark night is actually the language of the soul. The alchemy of surrender. The inner void teaches you to dwell in stillness. Surrender is the art that allows transformation to truly begin. Surrender is often misunderstood. To the unawakened mind, it sounds like defeat, giving up, lowering your sword, letting life win. But in the context of the dark night of the soul, surrender is not about collapsing into passivity. It is an act of spiritual power, the decision to release control so that a higher intelligence can guide your steps. Think of a seed buried in the soil. It cannot push itself into becoming a tree. Instead, it softens, cracks open, and allows forces beyond its own understanding, moisture, warmth, gravity, to shape its transformation. That cracking open can be painful. The seed's old form is destroyed. But without surrendering to this process, there can be no new life. When you are in the dark night, surrender means allowing what is falling away to fall. Relationships may dissolve, career paths may close, beliefs you once clung to may crumble in your hands. The ego resists because it has built its identity on these structures, but the soul knows these endings are the very compost that will feed your rebirth. There are 3 key dimensions to the alchemy of surrender. 1. Emotional surrender, letting the heart feel fully. Many seekers try to stay positive by bypassing their pain, but emotions that are denied do not disappear. They harden into walls around the heart. True surrender is letting yourself grieve, rage, tremble, without shame or hurry. In doing so, you release the energetic weight that keeps you tethered. 2. The old to mental surrender, releasing the need to know. The mind craves certainty. It wants maps, guarantees, timelines. In the dark night, you are asked to walk without them. This is why so many mystics spoke of the cloud of unknowing, a sacred fog where the intellect bows before mystery. By releasing the demand for answers now, you create space for the right answers to arise later. 3. Spiritual surrender, trusting the unseen. This is perhaps the most challenging. It requires a faith that life or God, or the universe, is not working against you, but for you, even when every outer sign seems to contradict it. This is not blind faith, it is felt faith, born from quiet moments where you sense a deeper presence holding you. Here's the paradox. When you finally stop trying to control the outcome, you begin to notice that life starts flowing in ways you could never have planned. Synchronicities appear, gentle opportunities surface. The path begins to reveal itself, not all at once, but one luminous step at a time. Surrender does not mean you lose yourself. It means you find the part of yourself that was never lost. The parts untouched by fear, failure, or uncertainty. End. When you begin to live from that place, the dark night shifts. The same shadows that once terrified you now start to feel like allies, guiding you deeper into your truth. In the next block, we will explore the hidden allies and guides that appear in the darkness, and how to recognize them when they do. Allies and guides in the darkness. When you are deep in the dark night of the soul, it is easy to believe you are utterly alone, that no one can see, hear, or understand you. And yet, if you pay close attention, you may notice that certain forces, both seen and unseen, begin to weave their way into your life at just the right moments. These are your allies and guides, sent to help you navigate the shadows. Some allies arrive as people: a friend who calls you out of the blue when you are about to give up, a stranger whose words pierce you with unexpected truth, a teacher whose message feels like it was spoken directly to your soul. Often, they are not here to fix your pain, but to hold space for you while you face it. Others come in more subtle forms, dreams that carry symbols and messages your waking mind would overlook, books, songs, or films that seem to find you at the exact time you need their wisdom. Animals crossing your path in symbolic moments, a hawk circling overhead, a black cat pausing to look straight into your eyes, nature's patterns, a sudden stillness in the wind, a burst of sunlight through storm clouds, each a reminder that cycles always turn, even in your darkest hour. And then, there are the unseen guides. These can be ancestral presences, spirit guides, angels, or the whisper of your own higher self. They often communicate through intuition, a persistent feeling, a soft inner voice, a sense of knowing without logical explanation. Many people dismiss these experiences as imagination. But in the dark night, your sensitivity is heightened. The veils between worlds grow thin, allowing deeper contact with the invisible realms. Recognizing and working with your allies requires 3 steps. 1. Stay receptive. Keep your senses open. Don't dismiss coincidences or subtle sensations as meaningless. The more you acknowledge them, the more frequently they appear. 2. Ask for guidance. Speak your need out loud or in your heart. A simple "show me the way" can be enough to invite synchronicity into your path. 3. Honor the help you receive. If a message arrives, act on it. If a person supports you, express your gratitude. Energy flows where it is valued. These allies and guides will not walk the path for you, but they will light small lanterns along the way, so you remember that the darkness is not endless. In the next block, we will explore how the breakdown of your identity during the dark night is actually the unveiling of your soul's authentic blueprint, the version of you that was waiting to be lived all along. The dissolution of identity and the birth of the true self, one of the most disorienting and sacred aspects of the dark night of the soul, is the slow dismantling of the identity you thought was you. In the early stages, this can feel like losing yourself, the roles you played, the beliefs you defended, even the habits and preferences that once felt so certain. They begin to dissolve. It is as if life has taken the puzzle of who you are and scattered the pieces into the wind. But here's the paradox. This is not the destruction of the self. It is the unveiling of the true self. Your old identity is like a costume you've been wearing for years, shaped by family expectations, societal conditioning, fears, and past wounds. It has served its purpose. It kept you functioning in the world, but it was never the full truth of who you are. The dark night strips this costume away, thread by thread, until only your essence remains. This process is not linear and not without resistance. The ego fears its own dissolution because it equates survival with control. When it feels you letting go, it will try to cling tighter, urging you to rebuild your old life exactly as it was. This is why many people feel trapped in cycles of collapse and reconstruction, like living the same story again and again. Breaking this cycle requires radical honesty. You must ask yourself, who am I when I am not defined by what I do? Who am I when no one is watching? What remains when all labels, achievements, and attachments fall away? In this emptying, a new awareness emerges, not something you acquire, but something you remember. This is your authentic blueprint, a deep inner knowing of your soul's unique vibration and purpose. It feels different from any external identity because it is rooted in being, not doing. Signs that your true self is emerging include a sudden clarity about what you will no longer tolerate, even if it disrupts your comfort, an unexplainable pull toward certain activities, places, or people that feel like home to your spirit, a deep inner peace that appears without a logical reason, even in the midst of uncertainty, the disappearance of old fears or compulsions, as if they never belonged to you. This birth of the true self is both tender and powerful. You are becoming a living expression of your soul, rather than a performance for the world. And while this can feel vulnerable, it is also profoundly liberating, because no one can take away what you truly are. In the next block, we will explore how the dark night sharpens your spiritual senses, awakening abilities and perceptions you may have never experienced before, and how to integrate them without losing balance. Awakening hidden spiritual senses as the old identity dissolves and the true self begins to emerge. Something remarkable often happens in the dark night of the soul. Your perception expands. It is as if the collapse of the old filters allows you to sense dimensions of reality that were always present, yet hidden from ordinary awareness. These awakenings can come suddenly or build gradually, and they may include heightened intuition. You just know things without logical explanation. A gut feeling tells you when to act, when to wait, or when to step away from something misaligned. Energetic sensitivity. You begin to feel the emotional or vibrational charge of people, places, and situations. This can be overwhelming at first, but with practice, it becomes a guiding compass. symbolic vision, dreams, become vivid and layered with meaning. Synchronicities, repeating numbers, animal encounters, phrases heard multiple times in a short span stand out as personal messages from the unseen. Heart coherence, you experience moments when your heart feels physically warm, expansive, or synchronized with your breath. These are subtle states where your mind and spirit align. Many mystics describe this stage as learning a new language of the soul. Instead of only interpreting life through thought and logic, you begin to listen through feeling, image, rhythm, and subtle energy. The more you honor these signals, the clearer and more consistent they become. But there is an important caution here. These heightened senses can be intoxicating. It is tempting to focus solely on the extraordinary experiences, visions, premonitions, energetic surges, and neglect the grounded integration that keeps you balanced in daily life. Without that balance, awakening can lead to confusion or spiritual burnout. 2. Integrate these senses. 1. Anchor daily. Begin or end your day with grounding practices, walking barefoot on the earth, holding a warm mug of tea, or simply feeling your breath in your belly. 2. Discern gently. Not every sign or sensation is a cosmic directive. Give yourself time to observe patterns before acting on new impulses. 3. Protect your energy. Learn to close your energetic field when needed, using visualization, prayer, or intention. Sensitivity is a gift, but it requires boundaries. 4. Stay humble. Remember, awakening is not about being special, it's about being aligned. Your gifts are meant to serve love and truth, not ego. As your spiritual senses sharpen, you'll notice that the dark night is not just a tunnel leading to light, it is the light, hidden in shadow form, training you to see with your soul. In the next block, we will explore how to embody this awakening in your everyday life, so that your transformation doesn't remain only an inner experience, but radiates into your relationships, work, and the world around you. Embodying the awakening in daily life. It is one thing to have a spiritual awakening in meditation, in dreams, or in moments of deep solitude. It is another, far more challenging to carry that awakening into the noise, complexity, and unpredictability of daily life. The dark night of the soul prepares you not only to see truth, but to live it. Many seekers make the mistake of keeping their awakening separate from their ordinary existence, as if it belongs only to their spiritual practices and not to their relationships, work, or habits. But true transformation is not something you visit, it is something you become. If it doesn't flow into the way you speak, act, and choose, then the awakening remains incomplete. Embodying your awakening begins with the smallest choices, speaking truth with compassion, saying what you mean, without hiding behind masks, while honoring the humanity in others, acting in alignment, making decisions that reflect your values, even when they are inconvenient or misunderstood, holding presence in chaos, staying centered when others are reactive, offering calm energy without absorbing their turmoil, choosing nourishment from the food you eat to the information you consume, selecting what elevates rather than depletes your vibration. It's important to understand, embodiment is not about being perfect. You will still have moments of frustration, fear, or forgetfulness. The difference now is that you are aware, you notice the drift, and you return to center more quickly. Every return is an act of mastery. Ancient wisdom traditions taught that enlightenment was not proven by visions or powers, but by how one moved through the marketplace, how they treated strangers, handled conflict, and engaged in the simplest tasks. Your awakening becomes real when you can wash dishes, answer emails, or navigate rush hour traffic with the same consciousness you bring to meditation. 2. Support this embodiment. 1. Create sacred pauses before important decisions. In the middle of heated moments, or when you feel triggered, pause and reconnect with your breath. 2. Live by principles, not impulses. Define a few core values that represent your awakened self, and let them guide your daily actions. 3. Surround yourself with resonance, people, environments, and practices that reflect and reinforce the vibration you want to sustain. 4. Serve beyond yourself. Allow your awakening to ripple outward through acts of kindness, generosity, and conscious contribution. As you embody your transformation, you become a living bridge between the unseen and the seen, the sacred and the mundane. Others may not understand what has changed in you, but they will feel it, and that quiet transmission can awaken something in them as well. In the next block, we will explore the unexpected gift that often comes near the end of the dark night, a profound clarity of purpose, the moment when your path forward reveals itself with unmistakable certainty, the revelation of purpose near the end of the dark night of the soul. Something begins to stir that is unlike the fragile glimpses of light you experienced before. This is not just relief after hardship, it is a deep, resonant clarity that rises from the core of your being. You begin to know why you are here. For months, maybe years, the dark night has been stripping away everything false, the borrowed beliefs, the hollow ambitions, the identities that were never truly yours. In their place, something ancient and unshakable emerges, your purpose. Not the kind that comes from a career plan or a list of goals, but the kind that feels like the song your soul has been singing quietly all your life. This revelation often arrives in subtle ways, a sudden magnetic pull toward a cause, craft, or community, a sense of deep alignment when you speak or act in certain ways, as if the universe nods in agreement, the disappearance of hesitation when you think about certain paths. You just know. Purpose does not always mean a grand mission that changes the whole world at once. Sometimes, it is the steady, sacred work of changing the inner worlds of those you touch. It may be teaching, healing, creating, protecting, guiding, or simply embodying a frequency of love so strong that it transforms every space you enter. It's important to remember, purpose is not imposed upon you by the outside world, it is uncovered from within. That's why the dark night, though painful, is so effective. By removing the noise, it lets you hear the pure tone of your own soul's calling. When your purpose reveals itself, a few things change instantly. Your decisions simplify. Choices become clearer because you measure them against what feels aligned. Your energy expands. You may feel a renewed vitality, even if your outer circumstances haven't fully shifted yet. Fear loses its grip. While doubts may still arise, they no longer have the power to paralyze you. And yet, there's a final truth. Purpose is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of a new one. The dark night has prepared you not just to find your path, but to walk it with integrity, resilience, and faith. This is where many seekers are tempted to rush forward, eager to make up for lost time. But wisdom teaches us that the first steps after revelation must be grounded. Integrate your purpose slowly, let it shape your rhythms, and allow the universe to support its unfolding. And now, as we step into the final part of this journey, we will bring together all we've explored: the collapse, the void, the surrender, the guidance, the awakening, and the embodiment into a closing reflection that seals this transformation within you. If you are here, listening to these final words, know this: you are among the few who have walked with patience, courage, and an open heart through the depth of this teaching. Most people turn away when the shadows grow long. You stayed, and that alone is proof of your devotion to awakening. The dark night of the soul is not a punishment, nor is it a test you must pass. It is a sacred passage, a purification of perception, a burning away of illusions, a return to what is essential. You have walked through collapse and emptiness, surrendered to forces beyond your control, met allies both visible and unseen, felt your old identity dissolve, and witnessed the quiet birth of your true self. Along the way, your spiritual senses have sharpened, and you've learned to carry your awakening into daily life. And now, you stand on the threshold of a new chapter, one illuminated by the clarity of purpose that could only emerge from the depths. You've traversed thought. Here is the truth: you are not the same person who began this journey. Your energy is different, your heart beats to a new rhythm, you carry a frequency that will ripple outward to everyone you meet, whether you speak of it or not. But awakening is not meant to be hidden. If a flame is kept under a jar, its light reaches no one. When you share your journey, when you pass the light to others, you help ignite awakenings that may never have occurred without you. And so, I invite you now to become a keeper and a giver of light. Before you leave, write in the comments, "My consciousness is awake." This is more than a sentence. It is a seal of your commitment, a signal to the universe that you are ready to live from this awakened state. I will read these words and know that you have walked the entire path with me today. If this message resonated with you, share it. Send it to a friend in darkness. Post it in spaces where seekers gather. You never know whose life might change because you passed on what you received. And if you are not yet subscribed, ask yourself, why would you walk this far, taste this depth, and not continue? New journeys, practices, and teachings await. each one designed to strengthen your awakening and deepen your connection to the truth within. Do not let this be the end of our path together. Now, I invite you to a moment of stillness. Close your eyes, feel your breath entering and leaving. Let the energy of this journey settle into your cells, your bones, your very heartbeat. Stay with the music that follows, not as background noise, but as a carrier of the vibration we have built here. Do not pause, do not break the thread. Let the sound weave the final layer of this sacred space within you. And when you rise from this moment, rise with the knowing that you have faced the darkness and found the light that was always yours.